Hello everyone, this is just a fun video going over what a finance YouTuber's analytics looks like. I'll be going over all the data that Google gives me to determine what videos do well and what my general audience looks like. This is a large data showcase, so if you're interested in data, this will be a fun video for you. Starting off, I'll showcase what I first see when I click the Analytics tab. It'll give a general overview. These tabs can be clicked on to show views, watch time, and subscriber growth on a day-to-day basis. It'll also show the amount of money that I've made from my videos, which at the time of recording is $0. Over to the right is showing my top videos in the past 2 days. Then, if you go past the overview screen, you get into the individual parts, which is the reach, engagement, audience, and revenue. For the reach tab, you can see impressions, impression click-through rate, views, and unique viewers. For the impressions, that means how many times people see your thumbnail. For the impression click-through rate, that's the percentage of people who see your thumbnail and then also click on the video. Views is pretty self-explanatory. It's the amount of people who have clicked on your video from the impressions and the impression click-through rate. And the unique viewers also speaks for itself. And this is more important if you were getting sponsorships, because people who are getting sponsorships on their channel, when they're making deals with the other companies, they want to see how many unique people are watching your videos. So if you have a lot of people who watch your same videos over and over and over again across your channel, that's not as important to sponsorships as getting a wider reach, which is why this stat is very important for that. Then it goes into the traffic sources. Now, over the past month, it shows that a vast majority of people who come to my channel come through the YouTube search. Then the browse features, external, and it just starts dwindling down after that. And here is the impressions funnel and how they lead to the watch time. So starting with the impressions, that's the first point that somebody can possibly watch your video. It's the thumbnail that they see scrolling through YouTube. So we have 67.8 thousand views for the impressions. And then from that, people are finding that because YouTube's recommending it about 20% of the time. Then after they get that, it's the impression click-through rate, which leads to the views. After the number of views, there's the average view duration, which in this case is 3 minutes and 13 seconds, and then that converts into the total watch time from impressions. It even goes deeper into the sources that you come from with the external tab. Now, unsurprisingly, Google search is the vast majority of the external sources coming outside of YouTube. This is because, number one, Google is the most popular search engine, and number two, Google owns YouTube, so of course they would be more likely to recommend YouTube videos compared to other things. Next is the traffic sources, which comes from the playlists. Now, something interesting about the playlists, which I didn't know about until I looked at this, was that, of course, there's my playlists, which I have two of. There's the Should You Read series and then the Benjamin Graham's Advice series. But then also, there's Forex Mastery. And something interesting about the playlists is that I don't have a Forex Mastery playlist. This means that somebody else who made a playlist has decided to put some of my videos in that playlist, and I'm getting views from that playlist even though I didn't make it. So that's kind of interesting and something that I wasn't aware of was a possibility. Next is traffic source from the suggested videos. And this is at the end of the video whenever there's a little card screen that comes up that says, your next view, or you should watch this. And it seems like the majority of the suggested views that actually get clicked through and are watched are the Peter Lynch series and the Benjamin Graham series. And then you get even more information about YouTube's internal search, the amount of times that people find your content by searching key terms. In this case, The Intelligent Investor leads to approximately 7.7% of the internal views that people are searching for up on the top of that YouTube search bar. Then there's Rich Dad Poor Dad review, the review of The Intelligent Investor, and Think and Grow Rich. After getting out of the reach section, then you get moved on to the engagement section. And this is the watch time and average view duration, which in my case is 357 hours in the last month. And that watch time comes from the amount of clicks that come onto my video and the watch time duration per view, which in this case is on average 3 minutes and 24 seconds. Also in the engagement section is one of the most important ones. It's audience retention, and it shows you the intro, continuous segment spikes, and dips for all of the videos. So this is the percent of people watching at the 30-second mark, people can click off, or they can move forward, or they can pause or go to a different tab. It doesn't matter. It shows you who is on YouTube for a continuous 30 seconds and what percentage of the people that is. Next was the continuous segments, which in my case, I don't really have too many videos that are showing up in the continuous segments section. Then there's the spikes, the number of people that move around in the video and want to see certain sections, and how it bounces up in viewership or down in the case of dips. For dips, it's very typical on YouTube whenever you're doing your outro section that people will move on to the next video. So typically if your viewers become accustomed to a certain point in the video when you say a certain thing, or when it's looking at the end when you're saying, hey, thank you for watching the video, thank you, can you please subscribe? That's when they start clicking off because they realize that the content section of the video is done. Next is the top videos, and you'll notice it's not based on views, it's based on watch time. This is because YouTube and Google specifically care about keeping people on the platform as long as possible, so they don't care about if you get 10 million clicks, they care that you get 10 million watch time hours. So for my longer videos, it's actually my top video for Peter Lynch's lessons, even though it has significantly less views. It's because it's a longer video. And the Should You Read the Intelligent Investor book, even though that's a much shorter video, it has more views, so it's able to compensate for the lack of length in the video time. Then there's the top videos by end screen. At the end of the video, approximately 30 seconds at the end, there's usually a subscribe button that pops up on the screen, and then there's like a little rectangle box either in the top right or top left, and it'll say, maybe you should watch this. And it seems like most people want to look on the Should You Read series for the Intelligent Investor, Rich Dad Poor Dad, or Security Analysis. For my top playlist, as mentioned before, there was the section for people who put my videos in their playlist so that I can get views from that. When we're looking at top playlists in this section, it's only talking about where the percentage of watch time is for the playlist that I create. And since I only have 2 playlists, it's not looking like it's that diverse. Then we have the screen element types. The most common ones that I use is playlist, best for viewer, and subscribe. I typically don't really use the other choices, which is external links, or if you want to use a very specific video for your type. I typically just let YouTube choose the best for the viewer because it's easier, and also for the playlists, I just add that occasionally because it just makes it easier for people to follow the content from 1 to 2 to 3 rather than trying to find it on their own. For my top cards, I don't really use cards very often, so it's not surprising that nothing comes up here. But cards are the little circles that happen in the top right of the corner that sometimes have polls or they have video suggestions. Since I don't use these, it's obviously coming up pretty bad for the past month's use. The audience section tab is probably the most interesting to me because number one, it's the most revealing about what's important for times and for content, but also because it's just very surprising when I saw it for the first time. Not for this part with the unique viewers, the average views per viewer, and the subscribers. That's kind of generic and it's kind of already been talked about, but it's for what's underneath this. So unique viewers, as discussed earlier, that's more for sponsorships. Average views per viewer, this is the number of people that find your content and then decide to watch other videos. And then subscribers, that's kind of just talking for itself. It doesn't need much explanation. But this is where it starts getting interesting. This is when your viewers are on YouTube, and it shows your local time in the past month, and then it shows the gray sections, which is when people typically aren't on YouTube, and then there's the really full purple sections, and that's when most people are on YouTube. And it gives you by the day of the week and the time of the day. And most of my people are on YouTube from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. So that's telling me that it's probably a good time to post videos around 6 in the morning, and posting videos at 6 p.m. may not be the best time. However, there is that little disclosure at the bottom saying that published time is not known to directly affect the long-term performance of a video, and learn more. But to be honest, you probably want to be putting in a video right at the beginning when people are mostly watching your videos, and then not putting videos when they're not going to be on YouTube. Then there's the subscriber bell notifications. This has become more and more important for people to not only subscribe, but also to hit the bell. Because some people won't get notifications that you actually post a video, and it can get buried under all their other subscriptions, or they might not even see it. So when they hit this, it's more of a guarantee that your video will show up and that they will be able to see it. Next is watch time from subscribers. So most of my views come from not subscribed people, and it's because of the content that I'm creating. It's more searchable content when people want to see something that they want right now. So when they search something like the review of The Intelligent Investor, they're typically only wanting just the review of The Intelligent Investor, and they're not searching around for other things on YouTube. They just want that one piece of information right now. So when they search that into YouTube, I have very searchable content, and when they see that, they can click on it and watch it. And past that point, most people won't subscribe because they got what they wanted and then they leave. However, there that 12.2% of people that do subscribe and watch the other content that I post, because it's not just the one and done thing that most people come for. Next is the top geographies, which in my case, and what I'd likely guess for almost every finance channel on YouTube, the most of the views come from the United States and India. This is because the population is high, and this is a topic that the United States and India is very interested in, which is finance and investing. The age and gender section was really surprising to me for my data collection on my channel, because only 2% of my watch time is coming from girls, whereas 98% is coming from boys. And I'm not sure if this is either a YouTube specific thing where there's more boys watching YouTube than there are girls, or if it's a finance YouTube channel thing where there's more people who are boys watching finance channels, or if it's a my channel specific thing where the content that I'm making, it seems like boys are more interested in. But I thought that for investing in finance, that this would be a gender neutral kind of topic where regardless of your gender or age, that it would be kind of like close, but that's not what the data is showing me. And then also for the age, I don't think we're allowed to collect data, or at least Google's not allowed to collect data from 13 to 17-year-olds or basically anything younger than that. So it makes sense that it's only showing from the ages of 18 and up. And a vast majority of that watch time is coming from people between the age of 18 and 35. This is important for, again, sponsorships whenever they're deciding whether or not they want to do some sort of deal with you where you advertise on your channel without the Google advertisement, but when you're saying, hey, I'm sponsored by this person, they want to look at the individual viewers and then also what gender they are and how old they are, because that's very important for whether or not they want to invest with you in a sponsorship. Then there's the top subtitle and closed captioning languages. Unsurprisingly, a vast majority of the views come from no subtitles or closed captioning. I think this is the same across all of YouTube. Most people don't watch with closed captioning, but of the people that do, the highest percentage, unsurprisingly, is also English, and then it just really trails off super hard afterwards, most of them being 0%, but because the numbers don't exactly add up to 100%, there's likely 0.001% of different closed captioning. It's on some video that I don't know about. And the last tab, of course, is revenue, but as mentioned previously, I'm not making any money from my YouTube videos currently, but you would have your estimated revenue, RPM, and playback-based CPM. These aren't things that I really looked into because it's currently not affecting me, but if you are interested in this topic and you would like me to make another video whenever that does eventually happen, and I could research them, I could go into this in more detail in a future video. And this is also in the revenue tab. It'll give you your monthly estimated revenue based on the month, your top earning videos, and the ad types shown on them, but since I don't have those, it's currently blank. Same with the revenue sources and transaction revenue. But that'll be the end of the analytics dump from the YouTube channel of a finance YouTuber. If you enjoy these types of videos, please subscribe and like the video, because I think that this is a topic that people can learn from and find appealing. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode.